Well, good evening from Wyreside. It's 8:30 Friday night. Set off after work. Taken a couple of hours to set up. On peg 4, sunny 2. Lake's quite busy, although we've got nobody either side of us, which is good. So obviously being on peg 4 means we're on the roadside. So I probably wouldn't have chose this swim if the roadside was quite busy. It's not really, it's a little bit quiet, so that's good. 3 rods out, the Crave, Crete Lakes and Milky Toffee. Had a bit of a feel about. Not far out, we found some gravel that sort of seems to coincide with the channel. We know there's a channel that runs pretty much all down the lake that's 50 yards out. So that's where we had a feel about. We found some clay spots wrapped up. That's 12.5 wraps, 50 yards. All 3 rods out. Got one pretty much in line with the island that you can just make out. The middle rod and the right hand rod is in line with that tent on the far bank, and the left hand rod is just to the left of the island. But as I say, 50 yards out, so not far. We've had some chop boilies soaking in a little bit of hemp oil. So we've put 2 spums over each rod, not a lot, not filling it in. Usual tactic, little and often. So just going to spend a few minutes just watching the water. The sun's going down. It's a beautiful, beautiful location to watch the sunset. Had a pretty full-on rainstorm travelling up here, but thankfully kind of cleared up a bit, and this is what we've got in front of us. Tomorrow is supposed to be okay. Sunday's supposed to be hideous. That won't really bother us too much. But start of a 48-hour session. Let's see what happens. 9:45. So a few fish show themselves in the general area a little bit earlier. Looks like it's going to be a rain-free night. Temperature's dropped a little bit, as you'd expect. So we've just retreated to the day shelter. Brought the day shelter with us for the first time at Wyreside. So we've got the bivvy and the day shelter. Quite a big sort of peg, so lots of room for it. But really good idea, I think. Means you can sit outside, you know, even if it's raining, and you're not sort of stuck in the confines of the bivvy. So M's idea, great idea. So the rods are going to stay out, obviously, unless we get a fish. No more baits going out tonight. Don't really want to disturb the swim. The water's very calm. There's no wind, which is a bit unique for Wyreside, because there generally is. But it's very still, flat calm, and very peaceful and tranquil. So I'm not going to put any more baits out. Just have to see what the night brings. So it's 3:30. We've had this little 14-pound beauty. You see that right?
Yeah.
Didn't put much of a fight. Left hand rod, caught on the Crave. There you go. Most welcome. First fish from Sunny 2. Well, that was a good experience. First fish on S2, 3:30 AM. Caught on the crave. Didn't put up much of a fight. Came in without too much resistance. £14. Chuffed to bits. It's 9 AM. Been up for a couple of hours, just waiting for breakfast. Imminent arrival, a Wyreside full English. Starving and can't wait for it. No more fish after the one that we had at 3:30. The wind's picked up and it's blowing straight into us. So it's a little bit cold. It's a westerly. It's coming from the westerly direction. A few people have vacated Sunny 2 this morning. The anglers who were on the point have gone. People that were on 10 and 11 have gone. So it's a bit quieter. May get busier as the day progresses. There's quite a few people on river behind us. There's one or two spots on Sunny 1, so I'd have thought it would have been busier actually than what it is. But it makes no difference to me. Really chuffed about that fish in the night. Managed to get our first fish out of S2, which is what we wanted. So both really chuffed. So I've just been chatting with them, and I was saying that 30 minutes before we had the fish at 3:30, I woke up like a bolt. Thought that one of the alarms was going. Unzipped the bivvy door and it was all calm. So a bit confusing. But we've since checked Emily's phone this morning, and someone rang her at 3:15. So we're thinking that maybe that's what I heard. Obviously, my brain's not engaged at that time. I think it's a Delkin. In fact, it's someone ringing her on a mobile. So highly attuned hearing. Similar to that of a fox, I would suggest. But anyway, 45 minutes later we had the real deal. Thankfully I reacted. I was out like a flash.
You were in stealth mode.
I had my Crocs right near the bed, the bottom of the bed. As usual, completely ran straight past them. So bare feet across the stones, as you do.
Okay.
So here's your Wyreside full English. Look at that. Hash browns, black pudding, bacon, sausage, fried bread, an egg, beans. Beautiful. Just what the doctor ordered. It's 9:45. Had breakfast. Just had a rain shower, quite a heavy downpour, 10 minutes, blown over now. I think we are going to see a little bit more rain. May have to turn the day shelter around a bit, it's coming straight in. I don't fancy chasing this all over Wyreside. Going to reel in 15 minutes or so. Just get the lines out of the water for an hour or two. Put some bait in. And go again. Sticking to our sort of structured way for fishing. That idea of resting the swim and then having a period of leaving the rods in, as opposed to bringing them in, chucking them out, bringing them in, chucking them out, fishing for a bite. we've got our spot 50 yards out, as I say, 3 rods, probably a couple of rod lengths apart. It's quite a tight area. I'm just going to focus on that. It's 12:15. Rods have been out an hour. Put half a dozen spoonfuls of cell soaked in hemp oil over the spot. Quite difficult with the wind, really blowing straight towards us, quite strong, so it just makes it a bit more of a challenge. Nonetheless, that's just what's in front of us, so that's what we have to deal with. As you know, this is our summer campaign water, so it's our second visit. We were here a fortnight ago, didn't have any fish then. The idea is to fish this water from now up until the end of September. Try and get on here probably 5, maybe 6 times between now and then. Obviously that's what the next video blogging project's all about. The idea after that is then to drop onto River and Sunny One and fish that during the winter, during the autumn and the winter, so from October through to the end of March. I'm going to try and get a winter ticket, a 6-month season ticket. But that's all about the future. Here and now, it's all about Sunny 2. There are some parts of the lake that I've never fished that I'd like to fish. I'd like to fish the point, which is the double peg, and the only peg on the water that allows you to get to the back of the island. I'd like to fish there. I'd also like to fish the far bank, so that bank, because I've never fished it. So it's a good way to get on the back of a southwesterly wind, is to fish from that side of the lake. So that's something that I'd like to do during this session. Wasn't able to get on that side when we arrived yesterday because of all the pegs being taken. I would like to have a good 3-nighter on the point. I don't think that's going to happen as part of this campaign, but that's my intention. I'd also like to have another go at fishing peg 13, which is nestled in the trees, and got lots of water to go at from there. So lots of water to fish, lots of open water to fish on this lake, and it's great to be here. It's great to have the opportunity to put this kind of series together. Big fan of Wyreside. I think there's some great waters here, and the waters have got different characteristics and personalities, and switch on, switch off at different times. So I love the venue, and I'd sort of refer to it as our home water. If we had a home ground when it came to carp fishing, I'd say that this is it. We try and spend a lot of time here, and I think that's going to be the plan for the next couple of years at least. As I say, summer campaign on S2, winter campaign on River and Sunny 1, and then we'll see where that takes us. Eventually I would like to become a member and be able to fish wire and bantams. We had a walk round bantams at the end of our last session, because I'd not seen it before, and it looks a lovely water. Obviously wire is on the other side of S2, so we see that quite a bit, particularly when we fish pegs 10 to 13. So as I say, you see Wyre and you see kind of people fishing it, and you see the lake develop throughout the year. But Bantons is on the other side of the complex, so we had a walk around and it was so clear, lovely colour. So eventually I'd like to, you know, if I could get on, become a member, but I don't see that happening for a while. Lots of fish to catch from the Duchy waters. Just had a bit of a nudge on one of the rods. I think that was more the wind than anything else. It's 6 o'clock. Rods are in. We just put out 8 sponfuls of the cell. We've had soaking in hemp oil. So it's going to leave it half an hour and put new pop-ups on and get the rods out for the night. See what happens. Still a lovely day, as you can see. As I say, there's anglers either side of me now. So from a bait perspective, I want to make sure that if they're on any bait, they're on my bait. So hopefully the hemp oil will act as a bit of an edge. So checking the weather app, it looks like the northwest could get the edge of this Hurricane Bertha. So hurricanes and day shelters don't mix very well. So we're going to drop the day shelter tonight before bed and get all the non-essential stuff in the car, kind of anticipating probably after having to pack up in a bit of rain tomorrow. So just to make our lives as easy as possible, just going to clear as much stuff away as possible, and also make use of the fact that we are on the roadside and we've got 2 cars directly behind the bivvy. So it makes sense to try and make our lives as easy as possible. So I'll be doing that a bit later, not for a couple of hours yet though. But it's 7:45. The water's it's got that feeling about it. Something could happen at any time. The wind's eased off and the water's a lot calmer. Didn't tell you earlier, we changed the hook birds. So we've got mainline pineapple juice on one, dynamite tiger nut pop up on the other, and crave also by dynamite on the other one, which is what we caught on last night. This looks, as I say, like something could happen. Guy behind us on river, peg one, he had one and lost it. Big take. Sure he'll be disappointed with that. There are signs of a couple of feeding fish in the general vicinity. A few bubblers. Fish just showed itself. Nowhere near where I'm fishing, but really big sort of head popped out as it rolled. But something could give it. Watch this space. It's 9:30. Lake's still very calm. No wind. Still get the impression that something's going to give at any given point in time. Bats are out. They've just made an appearance, the old pipistrelles. Still feel confident. Get him on that bait. Try and trip him up. Fingers crossed. So it's 10 PM in the bivvy. Still very still out there. Still feel very confident. Had a nice day to fish today. We had a bit of rain earlier, but all in all it's been a good day. Thought the more fish should have been out. Don't recall anyone catching today. It surprises me. Keep going. We've got the fish that we came for, 14 pounder. Still over the moon about that. First fish out of S2. What this series is all about. Be nice to get another one. Gotta stay positive.
I don't know.
Does it look alright?
Yeah.
Well, it's 3:30 AM and we've had one 18.5 pounder. Put up a big fight. Yeah?
Yeah.
Lovely fish. Nice mirror. Just a bit. That's what it's about, isn't it? Right. I need some light. It's 20 to 4 in the morning, just had a take. That lovely 18 pounder as you saw. I'm not sure what we caught it on. It was either crave or pineapple juice. The pop-up came off in the fight, as did the lead, which is good to see. Nice to see those. The drop-off lead system working. Put up a hell of a fight. Really did. Sort of started to kite right, so I put some pressure on to bring it back around and it ended up in the bay between us and the next peg. But it really took some line off. It was a screaming take. And then it never gave up. It kept taking line off, even with a reasonably tight clutch. But just kept going with it. And we were able to get it in, so Em and I are both chuffed to bits. As you can just probably see. That might help. Yeah, so it's what fishing's about, isn't it? 3:45 in the morning. Looking like this. Not my best. But yeah, we came here for a fish. And we've had two, so I chuffed a bit. Not going to put that other rod out and leave it out. Or leave it in. If it's out, is it in the water? I don't know. Anyway, it's not going back out. So, yeah. I don't think there's going to be much sleep now. I've got to be honest. I was awake at 2:30 with the one that we lost. Came off. And then we've had that one. The one that came off, it sort of... It darted towards us, which I know, chatting to a mate of mine that fishes Sunny 2 a lot more than I have, they have a tendency to do that. So there's tension in the rod, they dart towards you, so the rod tip goes up and obviously they're able to just wiggle the hook out. But chuffed to bits with that. Let's hope for another one. Well, it's 10:15, Sunday morning. Bit of a lie-in. After getting up twice in the night, once at 2:30, once at 3:30. Breakfast arrived at 9, that was bang on as usual. But as you can probably hear, the rain's coming down. It's been raining most of the morning. I hope we're going to get a break in it at some point. So as I was saying, no more fish after the one that we had at 3:30. It's not giving out the best of forecasts today. No doubt we're going to be packing up in the rain. Not ideal. But I don't think we're going to get much choice. Doubt there's going to be a break in this. Good session though. Enjoyed it. You know, still chance of another fish. Lots of confidence in our bait application, the spot. I remember 12.5 wraps for the future. I think it's time for another coffee. I think it could be a day of keeping warm. Obviously I'm the only man in Britain that's wearing shorts. 12:30. Just brought the rods in for an hour. Put some bait out. Usual. Shell soaked in hemp oil. 3 rods wrapped up, 12.5 wraps. Probably a couple of rod lengths apart. I'm going to give it another 3-4 hours max. Slowly pack up. But still confident. Wind direction still favouring us. Blowing it this way. There's still a chance. It's 2:15. Conditions have changed. It's the rain stopped. It's warmed up a bit. There's very little wind. It looks as if something's going to happen somewhere. Lots of signs of carp, bubbling, possibly feeding. We've certainly had them over the spots. We've had a nudge on the middle rod. We've had signs. I think in the next hour and a half, someone is going to be pulling a carp in. Let's hope it's us. It's very carpy. It's going to be a great afternoon fishing. Unfortunately, we've got to get off soon. As I say, probably another hour and 15. But fingers crossed. Coming to the end of the session. Taking the bivvy down. Obviously the rods are still out. They'll be the last things to come in. No more fish. But surprised that nothing's happened. Really am surprised. I think it's the sort of conditions changed a bit from that kind of humid spell that we had. It just picked up a wee bit, just dropped off. But most of the people on the bank are packing up. There'll be five pegs that are freed up, so there's going to be very few anglers on this lake. So there'll be lots of water to go out for the people that have arrived today. I've got a mate who's arrived. He's doing a 3-nighter. So well, I have lots of water to go out. There's probably going to be 4 anglers left on this 21 peg lake. Anyway, I'm going to pack the rest of the gear up. So that's the end of the sesh. Packed up, ready to roll off site now. 2 fish out, 14 and 18.5. Both came at 3:30 AM on Saturday and Sunday morning. So chuffed a bit with a 48-hour sesh. Managed to catch our first carp off S2, which is the purpose of this little campaign. So chuffed a bit. have a few weeks off. Be back in September. See you on the next vlog.